Hey guys, this is Victoria back to you with another review of Love and Hip Hop Atlanta Season 10, Episode 3 called Oh Baby. So we start off with Erica doing her little maternity photo shoot by herself because she still didn't tell Safari because she's still nervous about telling him, saying they're not on good terms. But I guess the producer mentioned that he did apologize. So then we go to the little clip of him apologizing for saying that she was like the worst mistake that's ever happened to him. Dramatic. Um, so she doesn't want to give up on their marriage. Um, Pretty much she's saying that she will do anything for him and pretty much that she loves him so much but doesn't feel that the feeling is reciprocated because he hasn't been treating her right lately, so she doesn't know what she's gonna do. um but she feels like they're soulmates, but I guess for him, she doesn't feel like he thinks they're soulmates. I don't know. I just know the maternity photo shoot was nice. I don't like her dress in the confessional. I keep seeing that dress in the confessional. I'm like, can we go back to like the first episode when it just showed the chest up? Because I'm looking at the whole dress and it's like, it's a no for me. Like, she's not even standing up. I don't even see it fully because she's sitting down in the confessional, but I don't like the dress. That's all I'm going to say on that. We're going to move on. Okay, we get into Yandy's birthday dinner. Everybody gets together. First, I thought it was like a couple's dinner thing, but then I seen Spice and stuff. So, everybody's coming together for Yandy's birthday dinner. I guess when Erica and I was about to say Mendices, but when Erica and Safari pulls up, the producer's asking Erica, she's nervous about everybody finding out she's pregnant. She says she's not nervous. She looks good, whatever. She made that little comment. Yes, Erica, you look good, especially for a pregnant chick. Yes. Okay, whatever. Moving on. Yandy's and Mendici comes in. She's like, last year for her birthday was during the lockdown. Just like everybody else's birthday was during the lockdown last year, unless if you had a birthday in January, February, and the beginning of March, everybody had their birthday in a lockdown last year, Andy. So a lot of us didn't do nothing. Not that a lot of us do anything anyway, but I'm just saying, a lot of us couldn't celebrate a birthday last year because of the pandemic. Okay, so she comes in. Everybody's like, I don't think they said surprise because she knew about it, whatever. Because I think Mendices was the one who set it all up. So, she comes in, everybody's like, happy birthday, here goes Safari, extra dramatic stuff, yeah. Cool. Everybody knows he's dramatic. So, everybody's mingling, talking and stuff. We see Kirk, Scrappy, and Safari talking. Scrappy saying, he has a performance coming up and invites Safari to come to be a part of the performance. So Safari's like, yeah, I'm down, whatever. We pan to, I think it's Bambi, Erica, Rashida was talking. Everybody's saying everybody looks good, pretty much. Giving each other compliments, and Rashida says something to the lines of like, "You make me want to have 4, 5 kids, 4, 5, 6 kids." Don't you already got like 4, 5, 6 kids, Rashida? If I'm not mistaken, we know Kirk do. We know Kirk. There's probably some kids we don't know that Kirk be having, but you already got that much kids. You want some more? I didn't understand that part of it, but to each their own. So we get back to Scrappy, Safari, Kirk. Kirk wasn't even really talking, so it was mainly Scrappy and Safari. But Kirk was standing there, just with his little drink. Safari asks Scrappy, how's everything going at the crib? Scrappy gives a look like really, like, things ain't going good at the house. So in the confessional, Scrappy's saying how Bambi trying to keep him on lockdown at the house from going out, and that's hindering his career. And she's not he said she's not supporting him in the right way. Now, I don't know if he was going out beforehand. And, from what we see later on in the episode, he went out for a performance. So is he just going out for performances, or is it also going out to hang out with the boys every night? Like, what's, for me, I'm always a person, I don't want to just assume when someone says something. Like, I want more context to what they're saying. So if she's not letting him go out the house or keeping him from going out to, hindering his career, how often is he trying to go out? Is it like once a week, a couple times a week, every night, every other night? That's why it's like I wish it was like more in context, so she's not letting him go out the house. He's a grown ass man. So technically, if you really want to go out the house, he can. But I guess for the respect of his wife, he's not. But once again, I want to know how often is he trying to go out in the first place for him to feel like he's on lockdown because his wife not trying to let him go out the house. I guess Scrappy was no Safari. Scrappy, Safari. I'm gonna get their names mixed up because they were like together for the most of the episode. I think Safari was understanding, but then it pans to Scrappy, Safari, Erica, and Bambi. I guess they were talking about something that got mentioned of doing something for each other. And I don't know if it was Erica. Like, I'm just so kind of jumbled. It's like I wrote down so much notes for this episode, but I don't even think I'm going to read all these notes. But pretty much something along the lines of happened of doing something for your significant other, spouse, or something like that. Then I don't know who made mention of something, but that's when Scrappy was like, "Oh no, she gets taken care of. She's straight. She be having food when she wakes up in bed and stuff." So then that's when Bambi in the confessional was talking about like, no, Scrappy does do stuff for me. He does make sure I have breakfast in bed, but it's not as often as he makes it seem. But in my head, I'm just like, how often do you want breakfast in bed? First off, I mean, it's cute and stuff for the TV and the movies, but honestly, for me, I feel like, can I brush my teeth first? Wash my face first before I have breakfast? Because I don't know, something about tart, bitter morning breath and like orange juice and food. I just want to have a fresh breath before I eat. You know, like I said, it's cute for the movies and whatever. But anywho, so we move on. Erica, I guess she said something about Safari used to do that for her in the beginning, but once he got her, it stopped. So then here we go with Rashida. She clowns all four of them in the confessional, talking about, is that young marriage, early problems, they still sucking on titty milk. Rashida, let's not go there with you, okay? No. Just like when they was in a couples retreat, Rashida and Kirk thought they were the veterans or whatever, but so you think you're a veteran because all the BS you went through? There's people who's been married for longer than you guys that don't even go through half of what y'all went through. So I don't want to hear you talking to them about that young marriage, early problems. Rashida, people who married twice the amount of time that you were married or in a relationship with Kirk's ass didn't go through half the shit. Look, okay, before I get angry. So we're going to move on. Carly shows up. First you see her with her little rhinestone studded, long knee-high boots holding somebody's hand. Like, we don't already know. Because, like, nowadays, we see stuff in the blogs before it be coming on the reality TV show. So anyway, they make this whole dramatic scene. So she's talking about how she went through a lot, with the divorce, with the pandemic. What did she say exactly? Oh, goodness. Carly's always something. She's been working on herself since the divorce and the pandemic, and that life is too short, and she's had a chance to become friends with Lamar Odom. Well, she said friends with a special person. Like we already don't know who it is. With Lamar Odom. So she comes, and everybody's just like, oh my gosh, Lamar Odom. Now, me personally, like, I know who Lamar Odom is, obviously, but I don't think I would be like, oh my gosh, it's Lamar Odom. Because I just ain't checking for him like that. I'm really not checking for a lot of celebrities like that. So for this whole thing, okay. She comes and everybody's just like, oh, it's Lamar Odom. Yandy's like, this is a big deal, like he's a big deal. He's 9 feet tall. Yandy, stop being so nice, okay? I understand. Listen, I'll just be like, oh snap, she's with Lamar Odom. Okay, cool. But Yandy just be giving all like she just be so nice. Sometimes I feel like she just be like, Jock is the voice of Atlanta. Lamar is like a big deal. Literally, literally and figurative. Like, no, he's really not. I don't think. But whatever you want to do to hype up people, Yandy. But stop being nice. Be more real, okay? Stop sugarcoating. Just be realistic. Be blunt with it. Anyway, Carly introduces him like, oh, this is Lamar Odom. Why she had to say both first and last name, I don't know. Like I said, everybody knows who he is already. So you could just be like, hey, this is Lamar. Bitch, we already know who it is, girl. Anyway, so they sitting down. She's sitting down with Bambi, Spice, and somebody else, I think. And Bambi's asking, is this like something serious? Is this a fling? So I guess that's when Carly tells a story about how her and Lamar met like years ago, but they were both in relationships at the time, but now they're single, so they decided to get together. She kept it short, simple, straight to the point. But in my head, I'm just like, just like you and Ray J met years ago too. Okay. So she goes into the whole confessional talking about she don't want to be hurt again, and they're not having sex, and she wants to go slow and start as friends. Okay, cool, whatever. To each their own, Carly. I'm not going to comment more on that, whatever. So we get to Mendeecees. Thanks everyone for coming to Yandy's birthday party, dinner thing, whatever. They're going to turn up. Let's go outside because he has a surprise for her. In my head, I'm like, this is like Sweet 16 all over again. Whenever it's somebody's birthday, they say, let's go outside. It usually means somebody's about to get a car for their birthday. And sure enough, we go outside. He got Yandeecees a beautiful, beautiful black Rolls Royce. It was nice. It was nice. How much did that cost? Is that a rental or did you really buy it? I'm not even gonna, joke on them, but that was nice. I wonder if she still has it now. Okay. So, Yandy goes in a confessional talking about she's appreciative. Said couples retreat word because, she starts going down a list of everything that, Mendeecees been doing. So that's cute, whatever. The party goes well, drama free. We get to, I guess, the morning. I don't know what time they got home, but it looked like it was in the morning. So they probably like late. Like it looked like the sun was already starting to come up. So it looked around sunrise time. Kids are obviously asleep. They better be asleep. So it looks like it went well. So then we move on, goes to commercial, comes back. Scrappy's performing, Safari pops out, is playing, both Scrappy and Safari talking in the confessional, talking about, performing is what they love and everything's going well. So it's after the performance, Scrappy and Safari's talking in the parking lot, saying how everything went so good. Safari's saying, how Erica, better be having a back rub ready for Scrappy when he gets home. And what did he say? Like, I know what he said, but I want to say exactly what he said. Scrappy said that's never going to happen. So, obviously, all the guys around them are just laughing and stuff, trying to get their little airtime, whatever. Safari's like, oh, I'm going to call her right now, saying you need to rub Scrappy's feet. Scrappy said that she's just going to say that he doesn't rub hers and that she's the one with the babies. So Scrappy saying he's used to Bam in the confessional. He's talking about he's used to Bam being with him when he goes to perform and stuff, but the way that she's been acting, don't want him to leave the house, having him on lockdown. That if she's acting like that, then she's definitely not gonna want to be here with him. I guess Safari is sympathizing with Scrappy. Says he understands. And I guess they get to the talking about kids, and Safari's just good with his one kid, talking about he wants to get neutered. He's done. Scrappy's ass talking about, he needs to have the feeling down there. I don't know if he's talking about the sperm, like he wants to still feel the sperm down there or something, because you're getting a vasectomy. You still gonna feel everything you feel, bro. But I think he's probably talking about the sperm. He still wants to feel the sperm moving around his nutsack or what. I don't know. So it ends up with, I guess, Safari trying to teach Scrappy how to say straight. So that's where that ends. So we gonna move on to young baby Tate. You know, she gets to LA, meets up with her little guap that 4,000 in Malibu, saying that he could possibly be her kin. In my head, I'm like, I thought you guys were already talking and like dating. So is he not your kin? I don't know. So, you know, she has to mention that he's a platinum Grammy nominated artist like her. And, you know, introducing him, you know, because obviously he don't got no confessionals. You know, he's not, because you know how some people, when they have, I haven't seen that really this season, but usually sometimes when they're introducing their friends or whatever that are like somewhat of a person, somewhat known or something like that, they usually have their own confessional scenes introducing their own selves. But I guess in this season they don't really have that. So she's doing an introduction for him, even though she already talked about him and introduced him last week. But yeah, Grammy Platinum nominated artist. His latest song, Chicken Adobo. hmm You know, that's not really surprising since his name is Guapdat 4000. So, she talks about when they first met. They were both no, when they first met, she was taken, but now she's not taken, so she's talking to him now. And she never really saw herself being in a long distance relationship. But you know, when it's somebody you really like, you know, you make things happen. But I feel like, girl, you could find yourself someone probably way better. Because we're going to get into it later. But you could probably find yourself somebody way better in Atlanta. That's probably 5 minutes down the street. Than this punk, sorry son of a you know what. So I guess they get out on the beach, having a little picnic date or whatever. He asked her something about fan club. Does she get a fan club? And she's like, yeah. He's like, how I get in? She's like, yeah, I suck my toes. So he's like, oh, I could do that. You know, I put my mouth on everything. Ew. Define everything. I'm that person. I ask a lot of questions. So I'll be like, define everything. What do you mean? Because that don't even sound right. That don't even sound sanitary. That sounds gross. That sounds nasty. Okay, what do you mean by you put your mouth on everything? You mean on a female's body? Can we be specific, please? Because look, I don't put nothing past nobody. So Tay says Guap is a hoe, but you like this hoe because you're still talking to that hoe. And she making so much excuse. She's talking about he's a hoe, and he doesn't let his guard down. Like he'll dip his toe in the water, but then when he sees, like, I guess he's getting too caught up in his feelings, he'd be like, oh snap, oh shit, let me step back. So that's somebody you want to talk to? But okay, how old is young baby Tate? Because she acting too young for me. Mm-mm. No. So anyway, she talk about her birthday coming up, and she going to Jamaica, so she wants him to come with her to Jamaica, have a little vacation. He's like, oh, I can't give you an answer yet because my brother's wedding's coming up. I guess maybe around the same time her birthday is. I guess that just sounds to me like somebody who don't really want to go. Cause if you I don't know. Cause just listen, he just sounds so full of shit to me. Okay, just because it's somebody's birthday doesn't mean they're necessarily gonna go on their birthday. Like I said, I know producers cut stuff so much, but I would have been like, okay, what days are you going to Jamaica? Or do you plan on going to Jamaica? Because then you could just work something. I don't know. You could work something around that. That just seemed to me like he didn't want to go from the get go. He was so quick to come up with that. Oh, his brother's wedding coming up. Is they gonna be on the same time she gonna be in Jamaica? Guap, dab, 4,000. Okay, that's just BS. So I mean, I guess they decided to have a little get together to bring a group of both of their friends together. We gonna talk about that later. So we move on to Carly Lamar. I'm not gonna talk too much about them because they had a little boring scene. They walking. Actually, no, they were driving to Carly's restaurant to eat. Carly told the chef like, "Oh, make sure you make that good for him. Make sure don't let me down. Pretty much looking at him like, look, nigga, if you screw this up for me, you getting cut off. But I guess they do a good job. Lamar just, hey, I feel like Lamar is just like, listen, I'm just down for the get down at this point. Like, obviously if it ain't terrible, it tastes good. He said it tastes good. But it looked like he wasn't that impressed. For goodness sakes, he was married to a freaking Kardashian. I'm pretty sure she's brought him to fancy restaurants. Low key, my husband says, Lamar is a Trader Joe, bro. Like, man, Carly, I don't know why this is storyline for her, whatever. So, I guess they get to talking about their past relationships and boundaries, and she's like, you can't fuck no other girl. I'm the only one, even though they're not doing nothing. And in my head, I'm thinking about Lamar's track history with who Kardashian, and I'm just like, we gonna see. We gonna see if he sticks to. But anywho, we get to Carly asking him questions and about his past and what does he regret, and he just regrets moving too fast and making life decisions too early. And who Kardashian. Yeah, I think they was only talking or whatever for like 3 days before they got engaged and got married or something like that. I don't know the exact timeline, but when I heard that, I was just like, oh, that sounds like some celebrity shit to me. So, but I guess he didn't want to go too far into that, even though while they was talking, they showed the pictures of who he was with and all the, tabloids and stuff. But then again, I'm just like, this was years ago, but I guess he's still not recovered from that. Obviously, we've seen the blogs, him and, who Thompson kind of fighting for, who Kardashians love. If anything, who Kardashian should just date them both. They both cheated on her, so just have them both. That's not really good advice to give, but I feel like all of Hollywood, all celebrities, they all hoes. So just have a big orgy, have a threesome. I don't know. So yeah, they didn't want to talk too much about it. I think that's where it ends. I didn't write no more other notes. They're not, as much as they want to make it seem like, oh, this was going to be a big storyline for Carly. I'm very uninterested in Carly. It's to the point I'd rather see Kirk and Rashida's storyline than Carly. And that says a lot. Because y'all should know how I feel about Kirk and Rashida. Anywho, so Yandy Mendeecees and the kids play basketball. Mendeecees is happy because, he's back around to do stuff with his family. So, of course, they have to talk. So Yandy and Mendeecees sit on the bench or whatever. So Yandy mentions Infinity. And at first I was like, who the hell is Infinity? Like I told y'all, I don't watch Love and Hip Hop New York ever since the first couple seasons. So I was like, who the heck is Infinity? But then I guess that's when Yandy goes into it saying, that's her foster daughter. And, she's away in college now. And I guess for Christmas, was it last year, I think? She invited Infinity for Christmas. I guess Infinity didn't come. So obviously, since it's Christmas, people gonna take photos, okay? So I guess Mendeecees was the one that posted the photo on Instagram, social media, and I guess Infinity didn't take too fond of that. So she goes on social media posting so much stuff like, all this random stuff. I guess Mendeecees, did that on purpose to make her jealous or whatever. And I guess Yandy got a lot of heat for that. Stupid drama, in my personal opinion. So I guess Infinity reached out to Yandy, I guess to talk. So I guess she's coming to town to stay with them. Mendeecees was just like, nah, bro. Like, she ain't coming. He's like, I'm not going to be walking around eggshells in my own house. And I feel him on that. I do agree. I feel him on that, especially if she has a problem. Because when they did the flashback of Yandy saying that Mendeecees is going to be coming out soon, Infinity didn't seem too happy. And I'm just like, you don't even know Mendeecees. Like, what's the problem with him? But anywho, Mendeecees was just like, nah, you could talk to her at the hotel or something and get that situated before she comes to the house. Obviously, we see they didn't even go well anyway. So it's a good thing she didn't even come to the house to begin with. But He was just like, no, that's that. So we get to Young Baby Tates and Guap Dot 4000's a little get together. Tates, I'm gonna call her Tates. I'm gonna call Young Baby Tate, but I'm gonna call her Tates too. Her brothers are there, or her brother, I don't know. Brittany B, we get introduced to her again. I forgot which season she was on before. A lot of people didn't really like her from the reviews that I've watched, but I don't really remember her that. Like, I remember the face. I remember she was on Love and Hip Hop. I don't remember what's probably Hollywood since she's in LA. But yeah, she wasn't really that well liked by the end of the season, whichever season that she was on. But yeah, they get there. They're having a little get together with both Guaps and Tate's friends. They're together. Um, Brittany's that friend that's probably, just asking Guap, about monogamy and stuff. And he's like, nah, he's not monogamous. He got a lot of bitches. He reminds me of Michael Blackson from Couples Retreat saying, I got a lot of bitches, side bitches. But I don't even think it's side bitches for him. I think it's just chicks. He not with nobody. So he said some line that Tate was just like, what? Because she was sitting on his lap. She was like, what you mean? What you talking about? So I guess she gets upset about that. Brittany pulls her to the side to talk. And in the confessional, here she goes making excuses for this sucker in the confession. She's like, he acts like a lover boy when we're together, but acts different in front of people. You've been saying this since you introduced him when he was talking to Amaretta the Great at the studio, saying, oh, he acts like this, but then he's like this, but then he acts like this in front of everybody else. So this is like the third time you said it within 2 episodes. This is not telling you nothing? Like, come on, girl. Like, I know you smarter than this. Don't be a fool for no boy that names himself Guap Dat 4000. That names a song Chicken Adobo. Brittany asks her, what do you want? She wants a love or relationship. She wants to be a power couple like Beyonce and Jay-Z. So Brittany's like, you consider him like a Jay-Z? And she said, yeah. That's interesting you say that, Young Baby Tate, because I would be like, would he consider you a Beyonce? Not saying you ain't, not saying you ain't talented, but you putting this down. You said Jay-Z. When I don't think he would even consider you a Beyonce. I don't think, probably to get in your pants, he will say, you're a good talented, but I don't think he will consider you a Beyonce. No way. That blew me. She said, yeah, he's like a Jay-Z. Are you serious? Guap Dat. His name is Guap Dat 4000. Well, he names himself that. Oh, Young Baby, say, Lord Jesus, help this girl. Jay-Z, though? Okay. All right, so they get to playing 2 truths and a lie. Brittany goes first. I forgot what were hers because it was very relevant. So we get to obviously Guap Dat 4000. He's Grammy nominated. He was born in 91 and he's going to Jamaica. So obviously that should already told you, oh, he ain't going to Jamaica. Like, he ain't going to no Jamaica. Especially when he was so quick to say, oh, his brother's wedding. Okay. So she was getting, a little pressed. Because I guess one of his friends was like, oh, Jamaica, he's going to Jamaica. I heard he's going to Jamaica. And then she's like, oh, you must be lying about your age or something. She's like, no, now I'm getting mad. What's the lie? So then that's when he says in his little soft voice, I'm not going to Jamaica. So Tater's hurt. So she gets, I think she kicks everybody out. And she's just like, no, that's messed up. She's like, I'm not going to be disrespected. Da, 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 da. Girl, you already was made to look like a fool. Girl, no, please. Listen, Young Baby Tate, you probably don't even watch this. You probably not even watching this right now. But listen, I just got to put this in the out there in the internet. When you leave LA, which was, I don't know when this was filmed, I hope you didn't talk to him no more. Don't talk to him no more. Let him talk to our little, chicken heads with his little chicken adobo back in, keep him in LA. Okay, you go to Atlanta, find you somebody else. Okay, go on Peach Street. Find no, leave him in LA with his little chicken adobo. Okay, no, you too pretty for that, and you too good for that to be dating somebody named Guap 4000. Okay, moving on. I don't want to see him and her no more in the same scene. We get to Erica. So she's hopeful that her and Safari will get back on track because she sees Yandy and Mendices as inspiration because they've been through a lot and they was able to, pick it up. She should really, honestly, I was like, okay, Yandy Mendices, you should really be saying Kirk and Rashida, the way they be thinking they some veterans up in this piece, you should really be seeing them as inspiration because they've been through so much and they still together, even though Rashida's just, too forgiving of dumb shit. But okay. So she sets up the backyard with all the things that Safari loves, which is his culture and himself. She got a poster of him with no shirt on. She got the people cooking the food, got the flags all over the place, got Spice and the girls to come and perform so she can announce the pregnancy to Safari. So Spice is all for it. She's like, all right, let's do this. And in my head, my husband was like, she getting paid. But in my head, I'm like, she getting paid for this? Or she doing this for free? I know they probably cool or whatever, but that's a whole performance. I hope Spice got paid for that, Erica. I hope you paid her because the way your house be looking, you got the cash to throw Spice a little something, something. So I hope you gave him some money. Okay. So Safari comes home. The two girls come out. He's like, "Who are y'all?" And, they blindfold him, and Safari getting excited. He's like, "Oh, this is what I'm talking about." Maybe Erica's trying to spice it up or whatever. Yeah, you of course you would like that, Safari. You that type of nigga that would be like, "Oh yes, let's have like 3, 4, 5 sums." Anywho, they take off the blindfold, but he's happy with what he got. It wasn't no 3, 4, 5 sons, but he was happy with what he got from what it seems like. And you know, Spice performs with the girl. She did a good job. You know what I'm saying? The food looked good. They didn't really even eat it. Like they have so much food there, but I'm just like, I hope people ate it. Don't put it to waste, please. 'Cause that thing looked good. So obviously they sitting down after the whole performance, the whole initial shock, he was like, "Oh, I'm speechless." He was so happy, whatever. So Spice like, "Okay, I'm gonna let you guys talk." So they sit down to talk with the food that they didn't even eat. I'm very upset about that because I'm just like, you could have just sent a plate to my house. But they sitting talking. Safari's happy. He's like, "This is what I'm talking about." This is what I want from his, like, that's what he wants from his wife. He's so proud of her. Now he's in love with her again. Whatever. Like, you gonna do that for her too? Because from what she's talking about, you after you got her, you stopped all the romance stuff. So hopefully you would do something like that for her too. But I mean, the way he reacts to that pregnancy announcement don't look like it because they talk and blah blah blah. But we get to the part that we all really wanted to know was when she finally told him that she's pregnant. So he's just looking at her like, because she shows him the ultrasound on her phone. He's looking at it like, "Are you pregnant?" She's like, "Yeah." He's like, "How far along are you?" And she's just like, 23 weeks. And he's just like, he doesn't know what to say. And in my personal opinion, when they was before he even showed up, when she was talking to Spice, I'm looking at her, I'm like, you can't, like, she's skinny. Like when she's not pregnant, you can tell like she's a skinny chick. So when I seen her talking to Spice in the backyard, I'm like, I can see the bump. Like, how do people not notice that? Especially when people be like, she in the gym and stuff. Like, come on. But anyway, he doesn't know what to say. He's just kind of like acting really awkward, acting really weird, and you know, he doesn't. He's just kind of like, I thought we talked about this. I thought we was gonna, done with the kids and stuff. So he's just obviously he doesn't seem happy, in my personal opinion. And he gets up and goes on his little four wheeler, does his little pops a wheelie and just drives off into the sunset. So we'll see what happens. Well, actually, we already seen what happens. She already had the baby in the NICU, and he in Jamaica living it up because he wanted to go to Jamaica so bad. So congratulations, Safari. You're the hatred of America. I don't know, but Erica was crying in the confessionals, or looking like she was about to cry. But it's like, listen, you chose this as your husband. I don't know. I don't know. I'm sorry for you, Erica, but yeah, your man ain't shit. So we end off with Infinity and Yandy. They go talk in the park or something on the bench, and they're going back and forth. Yandy said, "You was invited to Christmas." Infinity was like, "Yeah, but she didn't feel like it was a genuine invite." To me, I feel like an invite's an invite for the most part, especially from your foster mom, but you call her mom. But then they go into talking about some guy she was talking to that was like way older than her. Yandy didn't want her to talk to him, but she talked to him. She talked to him anyway. I guess he was making threats to Yandy, saying that he's going to take away the kids and report her and all that stuff like that. And she wasn't with it, so she was pretty much like, okay, Infinity has to go back to her grandma. So Infinity was like, did that warrant that big of a reaction that I have to go back and live with my grandma? And Yandy was like, yes. And I guess pretty much it seems like Infinity just feels kind of left out. She's like, I guess because she mentioned like, oh, if it was like Yandy's biological kids, then she wouldn't be acting like that. But because it's like the foster kid, she kind of gets like left out. I don't know, because I don't know. I didn't watch, like I said, I didn't watch New York. I don't know all the details, but from what it seems like, my husband's, you probably don't even hear him, but I hear him. My husband's so dramatic right now. But he looking about to be finished. But I don't know. I don't know the situation that much, but can y'all hear him? Oh my gosh. But anywho, it just seems like a lot of a misunderstanding. I feel like a lot of stuff is always misunderstanding, but I don't know. But she be looking pissed off. Like when she just came to sit down, she looked so pissed off, and like she was like, I'm just done with this, and she walked away pretty much. And then next episode, you see her at the house talking to Mendices. That's all they be talking about. They be always talking about that. Oh, I'm done, and then they walk away. But I guess that just means they're done with that scene, because you see her next week in the previews. So, and I'm not gonna say more on that because I don't know what to say more on that. So, I think this is the end. My husband already being extra outside, so I'm about to leave. This is it. That's it. That's what it is. That's all, folks. We're gonna see what happens next week. But one more thing. I'm gonna try to make this before 40 minutes. I will be reviewing Married at First Sight season 13, Houston, Texas. Starts on Wednesday. So pray for me, because I'm gonna try to do it right after I watch it on Wednesday. This Wednesday, the 21st. So if y'all watch that, come back on Wednesday. Maybe Thursday. But all right. That's it. See you guys. Bye.